guys ready for SummerSlam?
Pat McAfee and Corey Graves both ignored Michael Cole when he got excited, and here I thought they'd never team up against Michael since Corey heavily disliked Pat showing up at Royal Rumble events. It doesn't hit the same when Triple H doesn't casually ask that question first. Man, this was one of the best ways to open up SummerSlam, to have Jelly Roll perform Liar with the quick recaps of how we got to where we are now. Being in the audience for this was amazing, and I knew we were in for a special night. Let's start the sin counter over.
I am your host.
The Miz hosts the WWE Premium Live Event cliche. Yep, it's happened so often that it is now a cliche in these videos. Also, wrestler who's from the city the event is taking place in hosts the event cliche. 2 cliches in a row here, and we just got started. It's always cool when we hear this dramatic music play as a wrestler walks to Gorilla, but it should really be safe for the main event. If it happens even at the start of the show, it's only a matter of time before every match on a premium live event does this, making it less and less dramatic.
We're lacking this level of romance on SmackDown.
You're also lacking a big level of competition for your women's division, but then again, a lot of the booking remains questionable due to very few names actually getting big moments, even over on Raw. Tonight's edition of SummerSlam introduces the Ref Cam. For now, I'm not going to touch the sin counter until I see if it's worth having around, or if it's just going to give me motion sickness due to all the crazy moving around. I was about to comment on how amazing it was that Liv Morgan managed to strap her title belt around her waist that fast, but then I was reminded that WWE uses Velcro for the real belt, while using the straps for the replicas. Who would have thought the replicas would look and feel more incredible than the real version of the title? That sucks.
The last time Rhea Ripley lost a singles match.
Michael Cole conveniently brings up the last time Rhea Ripley lost a singles match on the one day that she loses a singles match. Well, we might as well give Liv Morgan her title retention right now, because Michael just spoiled it for us.
Had the right man gained custody of.
Nearly 20 years since Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio fought for custody of Dominic Mysterio, and only now is Corey Graves questioning what would have happened had Eddie won the match. Also, and I mean this with all the respect in my heart, if Eddie won the match, it would not have mattered as he sadly died a few months later. Even in storyline, no real change would have come to Dominic, and Rey still would have regained the custody.
He was injured the week following by Liv Morgan.
Actually, it was less than 48 hours later that Liv Morgan injured Rhea Ripley following WrestleMania 40, not a whole week later. I get that heels are supposed to try and avoid the faces in the early goings of a match, but this goes on way too long and I'm gonna give it a triple sin for annoying me for the wrong reasons. I'm annoyed out of boredom, not because Liv's the bad guy here.
Doing it, why not continue it into the match?
Liv Morgan somehow did not see Rhea Ripley stop moving in the ring despite looking directly at her.
And you felt better about yourself then?
Wouldn't this honestly tip off Rhea Ripley that Dominic Mysterio is obviously on Liv Morgan's side, considering Liv has absolutely no reaction to her licking Dominic's cheek?
Try to put Morgan away! Slams her to the.
Rhea's modified version of the Riptide on the turnbuckle probably did nothing to affect Liv Morgan due to how soft the landing was. Probably should have hit the move like he did to Becky Lynch at WrestleMania.
Away with a Riptide in the center of the.
Watch me. Sin you for copyright infringement.
Sure you don't want to stop this?
The referee asks Rhea Ripley if she's sure she doesn't want the match to end, and Rhea replies no. So technically, she just surrendered the match to Liv Morgan right here and now. Ring the bell, ref, this match is over. Well, as it turns out, the referee's camera exposed his intention to grab Liv's ass. Expose something people bitch about on the internet, I don't fucking know.
Oh, and Dominic!
What are the odds Liv knew Dominic Mysterio would take the fall for Rhea and wanted to land on top of him anyway because they were both turned on in this moment?
Oh, that was gross!
Rhea popping her shoulder back into place, the look on Liv's face, and the reaction from the audience made this an amazing moment. Here's another sin taken off the counter. This event is cooking already.
I've never seen anything like that!
Bullshit.
And Liv, though, able.
The way Rhea Ripley fell into the corner, it looked more like she hurt her own shoulder on purpose compared to Liv Morgan countering the prism lock.
But now, the power of the erratic.
Rhea Ripley had absolutely no ability to fully lock in the prism lock when her shoulder was popped back into place, but when it gets dislocated a second time and locked in an arm bar for over a minute, she apparently has all the ability to lift Liv into the air for a powerbomb. What?
There it is! Riptide!
Rhea Ripley successfully connects the Riptide, then makes the big mistake of not going for the pin when she had the chance. And when that situation happens, you just know she is going to lose this match. That and Dominic being a bitch again.
And Morgan oblivion and a kick out.
Man, this is amazing. The moment Rhea got thrown into Dominic in a chair, followed by the best selling of Oblivion I've ever seen, everyone including me thought it was over. This is a finisher kick out done right because nobody expected it to happen. I'm taking off 3 more sins. I still remember what it was like in that crowd. That was the loudest reaction to a kiss I've ever heard in WWE, and I've seen a lot of those. The outrage from the commentators added into it as well. The storytelling of this moment is absolutely insane, and we're taking another 10 sins away from the counter. What a wild start to SummerSlam. Coming up next is the Intercontinental Championship rematch between Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker. And to be honest, I got a bone to pick here. Why does practically every title change have to happen on a Big Four event in a stadium? If you keep doing that again and again, it makes every other event practically worthless due to no big moments happening.
Did you know?
No, of course I didn't know.
Man, Finn Balor is not even trying to hide his intentions to betray Damian Priest, getting mad at him week in and week out no matter what the situation is. I don't know if I should send Finn for not even hiding his intention, or send Damian for failing to realize the trap he's walking into.
Skycam is brought to you by Wheatley American Vodka.
Before I skip the advertisement, I just want to point out that Michael Cole already announced Wheatley American Vodka on a Skycam less than 5 minutes ago. Is part of the deal to announce it twice knowing everyone wasn't paying attention the first time around? This achievement chart is being a dick to Bron Breakker, points out that he's the second Steiner to compete at SummerSlam and that he lost to Sami Zayn at the last Premium Live event. Couldn't have told us he was once NXT champion for literally a full year? The fact that it took literally all the years of Sami Zayn's career in WWE before he finally wrestled a match at SummerSlam. Sure, he appeared on the pre-show in 2016, but that was the pre-show, which doesn't mean shit to anything.
Breaker now, and Breaker, quick!
Bron Breakker watched Goldberg matches to get ready for this Intercontinental Championship match and got inspired. Turns out, Sami Zayn did the same thing and was ready to counter the immediate spear incoming.
Oh!
The way Bron Breakker connected what looked like an armpit clothesline, there is no logical way Sami Zayn would have flipped around like that.
Success in NXT does not guarantee success on Raw or SmackDown.
And that's the unfortunate part. You could look like the best wrestler in the world while in NXT, but look like a complete joke when you get up on the main roster. Poor Shinsuke Nakamura.
Quit!
Instead of continuing the offense, Bron Breakker constantly tells Sami Zayn to quit. Have you somehow never seen a Sami Zayn match? Are you expecting Sami to say, understandable, have a nice day? Bron Breakker is an idiot. Huh, this really did turn into a Goldberg match. Lasted about 5 minutes, and a few quick spears got the win. All we're missing is a jackhammer, and it'd be the perfect example of a Goldberg match. But it's also unfortunate that Braun lost to Sami fair and square at Money in the Bank, all just to quickly beat him within a few minutes at SummerSlam, the much larger event. Who cares about the other matches we have? It is time to show you a random moment from this summer the fans voted on. I'll be honest, I had no idea what that was about even after it was done. It is absolutely mind-blowing that Logan Paul had no time to defend his United States Championship, but had a lot of time to compete in an Elimination Chamber match, a qualifying match for the Money in the Bank event, and trying to win the WWE Championship from Cody Rhodes, as well as playing a Tetris tournament and competing in a Mr. Beast challenge. Weird of me saying this, but at least Brock Lesnar had a farm to attend to. I don't want to ruin SummerSlam's momentum, so let's just throw in 10 sins to be safe. Also, this is Logan Paul's third defense as the United States Champion, yet this is his 7th time wrestling in 2024, and all of his defenses have been in 2024 as well. Let that sink in. Logan Paul letting everyone in the stadium know that Roman Reigns is here as he begins acknowledging during his entrance. Either that or Jacob Fatu scared him into acknowledging Solo Sikoa causing trauma. Both possible options. Machine Gun Kelly is back. Someone call Kevin Owens and prepare another table destruction sequence. Haha, you failed. Pre-match assault. Seems like this is the video where we are introducing new cliches, since this seems to be a recurrent theme for 2024. The Prime Hydration Station gets knocked over at every Premium Live event cliche. Logan Paul was hilarious in this scene. He just got sandwiched between the barricade and the Prime Hydration Station, so he figures drinking Prime will heal all his injuries. Unfortunately for him, Prime turned out to just be a hydration drink and not a magic potion.
I respect Logan Paul.
Yeah, how could you not?
If I were you, Pat, I would not ask that question on social media. You'll end up causing people to rant for hours on X when they could simply ignore you.
I don't think LA Knight like that.
Michael Cole inadvertently referred to MGK as LA Knight after the latter hit Logan Paul in the head with his own Prime bottle. I'm pretty sure LA is enjoying the beatdown he's given the Maverick. Logan Paul wasting precious time taunting the audience, allowing LA Knight to recover. This goes on for quite some time, too.
And why don't we call it Hogan Paul?
Hogan Paul. Not the first time I've seen that, but considering Hulk Hogan's controversial reputation with the public, I'd say Logan fits right in with his own controversy. Copyright infringement, yeah. Probably should have switched to a different camera angle because this one showed that LA Knight missed Logan Paul completely with that knee strike. With how long LA Knight stands on the middle rope looking at the audience, I'm going to call him an idiot if Logan Paul counters his next move.
Top rope, big
LA Knight is an idiot. Oh shit, he actually connected the move. Damn, that's a first. Well, I don't know what to do here because I've never been in this situation before. Do I sin myself for being wrong? Do I remove a sin? Or do I just leave the count as is and move on? I think I'll do that one.
He's going to be sitting there as he sprang.
You don't have to personally like Logan Paul, but almost every single WWE wrestler in existence cannot do what he just did. Name the last wrestler who you saw jump to the top rope from the canvas, spinning around and perfectly landing on the top rope without screwing it up or falling, and then hitting a picture-perfect moonsault to the outside of the ring in succession. I'll wait. Throwing 15 sins off the counter for that epic maneuver.
Try to.
And now look at this.
I have to give props to LA Knight because he almost messed up the superplex due to mistiming of the jump, but quickly improvised to protect Logan Paul and turned it into a fisherman's superplex at the same time. Amazing work. LA Knight beats down on Logan Paul's entourage but leaves MGK alone despite him also taunting LA throughout the match. The way LA Knight countered the buckshot lariat into the blunt force trauma was a great way to end the match because we all believed Logan Paul would hit the move due to connecting the brass knucks to LA's face. And then surprise, a BFT to crown a new United States champion. Although I got this odd feeling that Logan Paul will have a counterclaim to the United States Championship due to his foot being underneath the bottom rope, thus out of bounds. Referee's decision is final, but I got this odd feeling we could have another Gunther versus Randy Orton situation here.
It was an incredible reign for Logan Paul.
Debatable due to the very few times he defended the title, but he did put on good matches. Doesn't change the fact that he should have defended the title at least 2 additional times between now and WrestleMania. The entire existence of this Manscaped promotional commercial. Could have just promoted it during a match or something because this is weird.
This isn't 2017, Bayley.
Bayley claims that Nia Jax can't beat her because she is not her hugger self anymore. Did you ever think that this is also not the Nia Jax who was much bigger and more reckless in the ring? Because this Nia is a lot more focused, more slim, and more vicious. It's a good thing Nia Jax switched up her hairstyle and got a better looking crown because now she looks more badass as the queen of the ring.
Which is brought to you by Valorant.
WWE promotes the sponsorship and expects me not to skip it because I technically cannot see it in this shot, but I can still hear you promoting and hey, I think I see myself in the crowd! But anyways, skip! Bayley claims that she is no longer the hugger character, but then proceeds to enter the stadium wearing her hugger outfit, in a match where she ends up losing the women's championship. Bet she had a whoopsie moments later when this was all said and done. You know it's sad when a match is about to take place and almost half the stadium left to either use the restroom or get more food. Look at those empty seats, and we're not even on the side of the stadium that has sections covered in tarp either.
Bayley taking the fight to Nia Jax early. Did you expect that?
I mean, yeah, did you think we'd expect Bayley to run away from Nia Jax when the bell rang? She's the good guy here while Nia Jax is the bad guy. And don't call Pat Shirley either.
Oh, here it is.
Sorry, but leave the stink face to Rikishi only. Anyone else doing it doesn't have the same effect because they don't have their entire ass minus the crack sticking out.
It's gonna be bad. Oh, Bayley moved down.
After Nia Jax had her infamous moment with Lana several years ago, why does she even bother trying to do a leg drop on the ring apron anymore? If I injured my hold doing that, I'd never do it again. That ain't the way I prefer my hold to be. Okay, maybe I said too much.
Down goes Nia Jax.
Nia Jax reacts too late to Bayley's ground and pound punches.
Up and climbed to the top rope and not.
If Nia Jax was going to do her next move from the second rope, then why did she bother stepping onto the ring apron to climb the corner? She could have just went to the corner inside the ring and propped herself up on the second rope just like that. This made the climbing pointless. Probably didn't give Bayley the win because Nia Jax was hardly lifted off her feet at all. That, and whenever a wrestler no longer uses a certain move as a finisher, it loses all its abilities to win matches. Sad but true. So exciting to see Tiffany Stratton show up in an attempt to cash in her Money in the Bank contract. However, the second referee is completely unnecessary because there's already a referee in the ring and the match would just become a triple threat. Did you not see Drew McIntyre do this at the Money in the Bank PLE in Toronto literally last month? He didn't bring out a second referee.
There have been 2 cash-ins in the history of SummerSlam.
Actually 3, and shout out to a fan of mine who sent me a DM on X about this fact. This is for you, ... 3 wrestlers have cashed in the Money in the Bank contract at SummerSlam. Those 3 being Alberto Del Rio in 2011, Randy Orton in 2013, and Io Sky in 2023. Sure, we don't like remembering Alberto Del Rio, but it's still a fact and you cannot pretend certain things don't exist on record. That's just stupid. Here are 3 sins courtesy of my fan ...
And Bayley now.
Because of the way Nia Jax fell, it looked like she tripped on her own accord compared to Bayley tripping her up for the pin.
Bayley up and down. Second runway, second one herself.
The 2 power bombs followed by a second annihilator was a brutal way for Nia Jax to claim the WWE Women's Championship for the second time. And I also like that they're adding more prestige to the King and Queen of the Ring by having the Royal Wrestler actually win the championship at the big event, like the Royal Rumble winner does at WrestleMania. Here are 2 cents off. I know many expected Tiffany Stratton to cash in right now and win the title from Nia Jax, but I prefer this way instead. This shot proves there's a long-term story incoming where Tiffany will eventually have to choose between her friendship with Nia and her dreams of becoming champion in WWE. I'm all here for it too. I'm starting to think WWE did this on purpose to promote straight talk involving the straight edge savior, even if the company doesn't relate to being straight edge. It was the closest they could get to a funny reference, I suppose. Although, if you really wanted to randomly promote something in reference to CM Punk, there's always Quitter's Coffee, since that relates to him. Or Brawl Stars, too, that works. Seth Rollins is given the role of special guest referee for this upcoming match simply because he'd be left off the match card entirely if he wasn't. The unfortunate downside to having so many stars, but not that many matches on your premium live events. The promo video, the words, the final destination, and the lyrics, the climax to it all, really promotes this match as the ending to the feud between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. If the plan is to keep the feud going heading into Bad Blood, WWE picked the wrong choices to hype this matchup. Whoever's in charge of the pyrotechnics tonight is obviously getting fired because he shot off Seth Rollins' pyro way too early. You're supposed to wait until after Burn It Down is said, not during. Hope you enjoyed your brief job for WWE. I'm excited to see the new Beetlejuice movie next month, so to see Seth Rollins wear Beetlejuice's signature colors for his entrance was awesome. I'm gonna take the risk and say the name a 3rd time while removing a sin because I love Beetle. This might be the first time that a referee got 5 minutes for an entrance. Yes, it's Seth Rollins, but he's still just a referee in this situation. Also, on that note, nearly 12 minutes of entrances for 2 wrestlers and a referee. When I see the track record of Drew McIntyre's participation at SummerSlam, I'm reminded of the sad fact that it took until 2020 before Drew actually had his first match at this event. It took his first run and half his second run before that finally happened. And here I thought Sami Zayn had poor luck.
Bring that bitch out here.
Drew McIntyre is such a badass.
These two actually team together.
Wow, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre teamed up one time 15 years ago. That totally means this feud just got more and more personal than it already is. Forget the bracelets and the title costing, these two once teamed in a match that one time I don't even remember. I gotta take a sin off for this great reference. CM Punk's pink colors, Drew McIntyre's spiky trench coat, and Seth Rollins' goofy referee outfit, making a reference to the time Bret Hart took on The Undertaker, with Shawn Michaels as the referee at SummerSlam 27 years ago. Amazing callback. Seth Rollins tells Drew McIntyre to stay where he is as if he's a parent putting the child in timeout. Something tells me I'm going to love the comedy in this situation.
Precision strike.
I know, referee's discretion, but if Seth Rollins doesn't want to disqualify either CM Punk or Drew McIntyre, then why didn't he just declare this match to be a no disqualification match? Or just don't count to 5. The moment you say 5, it's over. What, did CM Punk get stuck in the corner? Or was it too comfortable to get off like a mattress? CM Punk's conveniently the one who will go to sleep tonight. I know that Prime has their hydration station at ringside, but considering this match is being sponsored by C4 Energy, why don't we have a promotional station for that too? Look at me, I'm actually trying to make suggestions for sponsors instead of skipping them. What has happened to me?
Now swinging McIntyre like a baseball bat.
What? Drew McIntyre is swinging himself like a baseball bat? I didn't even think that was possible to do that.
Said, "Nah, the hell with you, you can do it."
The slingshot tossed on the ropes is brutal enough, but to see Drew McIntyre connected on CM Punk with the steel beams keeping the ring intact is twice as brutal. I almost felt my own throat get hurt from that over in my seat, but that could have also been because of the humidity. Anyways, double center mover for that brutal moment.
You said you were gonna kill him. He's still moving.
Seth's words were both funny and dark at the same time, daring Drew to kill CM Punk instead of going for the immediate pin. This shit indeed just got dark. What is this, the Predator cam? We've had ceiling cams, drone cams, ref cams, and now cameras from the Predator movies. What's next, roller coaster cams attached to the stage at WrestleMania? Actually, that last one sounds kinda cool. I'm not saying we should have bright spotlights blinding the fans or anything. I'm just saying there should be lights shining so that the viewers at home can see the amazing size of the stadium we're in and the 50,000 plus fans in attendance for it. There are ways to do it without blinding the audience in attendance. If you're not going to showcase the big stadium, why bother going then? The sit-down powerbomb probably didn't give Drew McIntyre the win because his name is not Dave Bautista. Plus he had his hands on CM Punk's nipples and that always increases one's desire to get the hell out of this predicament. I'm reminded again of the epic match between Bret Hart and The Undertaker with Shawn Michaels as the referee at SummerSlam 1997. That still hasn't been done yet as of this video. Maybe I should put an end to that. Seth Rollins claimed that Drew McIntyre embarrassed him at WrestleMania 40, despite the fact that Seth had an injured knee and also competed in a 45-minute match the night prior. Not to mention, Seth didn't leave the ring embarrassed, he literally congratulated Drew's victory while shedding proud tears.
Well, Drew McIntyre just went into his trunks.
I get that this bracelet contains the names of Larry and AJ Lee, but if I were CM Punk, I would not want that back after finding out it was literally wrapped around Drew McIntyre's penis for the last 20 minutes. Fuck that, you can have it now, I'll just make a new one. I get that the bracelet is important to CM Punk, but come on, man. You at least know it's around the wrist of Drew McIntyre and it's not going anywhere in this moment. Just finish him off with the Anaconda Vice and then take it back after Drew submits. Problem solved. Clearly, Seth Rollins got the bracelet out of the way for safekeeping like referees do when certain items fall into the ring. But once again, CM Punk is a complete moron for letting his emotions get the better of him. Thus, Punk screwed Punk. The referee gets knocked over at the crucial point of the— Wait a second, you mean to tell me that this was somehow enough to knock out Seth freaking Rollins? Does wearing the referee outfit limit your stamina to 1% or something? If anything, this assault on Seth Rollins confirms everything both he and Drew McIntyre have ever said about CM Punk being unhinged. If anything, this should cause the rest of the locker room to agree with him about Punk, making CM Punk a loner for the longest time as he tries to reclaim his reputation. That would be an epic story. This match and storytelling has been epic from the get-go, and I look forward to seeing more of this as time goes on. Drew McIntyre is addicted to CM's Punks. What kind of stupid landing from the Claymore kick was that? CM Punk going into business for himself here? Yet again? Honestly, is there any point of Drew McIntyre keeping the bracelet after he defeated CM Punk? Because his mission is accomplished by now, so he should have either tossed it away or tore it to pieces in front of Punk.
And you are the last person that's taking this title from me.
You are the last person who's going to take this title from me, which translates to you're the one who's going to beat me cliche. Damian Priest non-pyro, once again in a stadium where there should definitely be pyrotechnics shown for the fans instead of the mere noise.
Going to battle over the richest prize.
But Damian Priest is not the WWE champion. That is the richest prize of the company, even with a World Heavyweight Championship present. Hell, when the big gold belt was the second world title, the WWE title was still the richest prize.
Very rarely does he get emotionally caught up.
Actually, Gunther has never gotten emotionally caught up in the moment when it comes to his matches in WWE. The way I see it, he's impervious to that sort of thing.
Gunther into the ring wisely, breaking the count.
Wrong, Michael. The 10 count only stops when either both wrestlers get back into the ring or one gets into the ring and slides back out. Since Damian Priest has not returned to the ring yet, the count now continues on him. What's worse than one off-sync chant? 2 off-sync chants. The crowd is chanting "Let's go Gunther" and "Let's go Priest," but almost nobody is in proper sync with each other. This is a crazy plot twist. Normally Gunther is the one who chops someone's chest into oblivion, but here it's his own chest that gets bloodied up. Further adding in that Damian Priest isn't just a guy on the Judgment Day to be taken lightly.
Gunther there like a flying dinosaur.
Considering flying dinosaurs actually were a thing, that comparison doesn't have as much impact as one would think.
To the sight of his own blood.
Must have been another giant spotlight situation because Gunther is looking around in confusion at the sudden explosion of crowd cheers and to the entrance in case another wrestler appeared for interference.
Catches him with a spinning.
Damian Priest clearly missed Gunther with his spinning kick. My only conclusion for Gunther falling over was he lost his balance and slipped, unless Damian tapped into the force to hurt his opponent. Finn Balor still chooses to betray Damian Priest even after Gunther kicked him in the face. If it were me, I'd have my plan to betray Damian, but then I'd hold it off because anyone who kicks me in the face is going to get the comeuppance first. Damian literally could have pinned Gunther right then and there without the worry of rope breaks, but then stupidly chose to roll Gunther close to the edge so that the impending bullshit can happen. If anything, Finn Balor did not cost Damian the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It was his own stupidity that cost him everything. Shall I pin him here in the middle of the ring? Nah, let's roll him over to the edge of the ring for no apparent reason.
What the hell?
Michael Cole was shocked that Finn turned on Damian, and he would be the only one in the entire stadium, except for Damian somehow. The one thing that does deserve a sin removal in this situation is Damian Priest continuing to fight out of Gunther's sleeper hold even after Finn Balor turned his back on him. Normally, wrestlers would be finished off immediately when that happens, but Damian still had fight left in him and utilized it as long as he could before Gunther eventually finished him off. That was amazing. However, I feel really bad for Gunther here. A world title win at WWE's biggest event of the summer should really present him with a massive spotlight. But even if he's in the physical spotlight, the real story here is Finn Balor and Damian Priest's situation. While Gunther posing as the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion felt like something going on in the background, and that is wrong. Hey look, it's the host of SummerSlam. Where the hell have you been for the last 3 frickin' hours?
In all-time American attendance record, 57,000.
And this is why WWE really needs to stop fabricating their numbers in terms of attendance. The Miz claims that tonight's attendance of 57,000 plus fans is the all-time American attendance record for SummerSlam. Meanwhile, last year, WWE announced that Detroit set a record of 59,000 plus fans. It is legitimately true that this is the most attended SummerSlam in America, but there's that big problem. Also, even despite this being the highest attended SummerSlam in the United States, that number is still incorrect. It was 54,000 plus fans. You couldn't have just dropped a couple thousand to be realistic here? Instead of going straight to the main event, we somehow have time for this segment. We're 3.5 hours into the show by this point. Let's go here. Also, heel wrestlers interrupt a segment at a stadium show just so a special guest can kick their ass for a cheap pop cliche.
The worst NFL football team.
Don't forget MLB and the NBA. Cleveland hits the top of the list for worst teams in those categories too. Isn't MGK supposed to be a bad guy here since he was supporting Logan Paul and trying to help him cheat to win? Sitting next to Jelly Roll made him turn babyface. That has to be a record that even the Big Show couldn't achieve.
You know what? Oh boy.
The cameras did not cut to Jelly Roll appearing and grabbing a steel chair, yet we can hear the chair being folded and Michael Cole literally reacting to it. If the production crew are still trying to hide the fact that Jelly Roll was on his way to attack A-Town Down Under, you might as well stop now, because everyone watching at the stadium and watching at home obviously know he's coming. I would laugh at R-Truth mistaking A-Town Down Under for the Rock and Roll Express, but I'm pretty tired by this point and just want to get to the main event.
Well, Buttermine!
Jelly Roll hits a chokeslam that even Kane in his prime would be jealous at. That was awesome. It's a good thing WWE decided to make this main event a Bloodline Rules match, because the interest for this feud as the main event of SummerSlam was dropping faster with every passing week, and that's a shame when that happens. Also, WWE figures because everyone went wild for the Bloodline Rules match at WrestleMania 40, we should do this again since non-stop interferences is what makes a WWE Championship match worth watching. Unfortunately, this one doesn't hit anywhere near as good as that big moment in April. Nearly 12 minutes of entrances for only 2 wrestlers. This has really turned into a full-time thing here. No wonder these premium live events go into overtime. Cody Rhodes stays in his bus even when Solo Sikoa already made his entrance to the ring, figuring he doesn't have to hurry whatsoever. After all, in the words of Deadpool, audiences are very used to long run times these days.
54,000 people say so.
Arn, shh! I know it's been a while for you in WWE, but The Miz just said that the attendance is 57,000. You just exposed the number fabrication.
With Cody's dad, the American.
The dramatic music stops so this conversation could happen, then starts over when Cody continues walking. I would have had Cody immediately meet up with Arn Anderson and then play the music, because it doesn't have the same feel when the music stopped for a quick bathroom break. Something tells me that Cody intentionally posed in front of the overrated sign as a way to stick it to the haters, and there's no better feeling than sticking it to your haters. Many would think that Cody Rhodes is taunting Solo Sikoa because of what the crowd is chanting at him. I honestly think he's sending a message to Solo to take it easy on him because he accidentally got water lodged in his ears, and that's horrible when it happens. This has to be one of the widest gaps in a side headlock I've ever seen. Solo could easily slide his head out of there like nothing, as Cody's arm is not trapping it.
He is the head of the table, and he's gonna feed his people.
Well, unlike Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa has little to no success during this run as the Tribal Chief, so I don't see how he can feed his people. At least Roman Reigns got the job done when it mattered the most. Need I remind you of Solo's constant losing streak again?
Wait a minute.
This has got to be one of the most delayed reactions I have ever seen. It took nearly 10 seconds before Michael Cole realized Solo grabbed Cody, blocking the latter's punch from the ground.
Solo Sikoa has the side.
Solo Sikoa somehow did not hear the sound of Cody's feet stomping on the ring canvas behind him. Also, Solo is literally looking at the screen broadcast in this match, which clearly shows Cody doing the skin the cat motion on the ropes and still somehow doesn't see this happening.
Dump that right now.
I guess you're not a Samoan wrestler unless you throw yourself out of the ring as a result of your opponent pulling down the rope at least once in your career.
No disqualification.
And the sad part about it is these two forget entirely that the match has no disqualifications. If maybe some chairs or tables got involved in the match, this would become more interesting. Instead, we have to wait about 25 minutes before the first set of interferences happen, and in those 25 minutes, there's really not a lot going on at all. Logan Paul's definitely not going to like this. There's probably a text message awaiting Cody Rhodes that says, "You signed a contract with Prime! How dare you!"
For the championship.
The referee checked to see if Cody's shoulder was down and then proceeded to count the pin. But here's the problem. If he was checking the shoulder, then he would obviously see that it's off the canvas due to Cody's arm being held up by Solo's leg. And yet somehow he doesn't? That is worth 5 cents if you think about it. Can we just have the Bloodline members show up now so that we don't have to go through another 15 minutes of boredom? WWE is really trying to recapture the magic of Bloodline rules at WrestleMania 40 and failing miserably. I guess Solo Sikoa has been delusional for so long. First he thinks he's the new tribal chief without ever defeating Roman Reigns in tribal combat, and now he thinks he's the new WWE champion without ever defeating Cody Rhodes. Here you go, get a good shot at the audience in attendance. Or at least we would if we could. Instead we're giving you a wider shot of the ring in complete darkness. At least before there was something to see. Here there was nothing to see. That one moment when you completely forgot that this match is under Bloodline rules until the Bloodline actually show up to do something over 20 minutes in. Haven't they learned from last time that showing up one at a time cost Roman Reigns everything? Why didn't they just have the Tonga brothers and Jacob Fatu attack all at once to prevent history from repeating itself on Solo's case?
What kind of condition is KO in?
Well, since he's not 100%, Kevin Owens is about to lose more energy as a result of having to run half the length of the football field while also turning around to continue running. Damn curved entrance walkways. I'll be right there, guys. Man, I want to be excited that we're getting more Avengers-style entrances, but once again, it really doesn't hit the same. Especially since it's only been a couple weeks from the time Randy Orton was annihilated by the Bloodline, in comparison to John Cena suddenly showing up after months of being gone.
With a crossroad.
Cody Rhodes, for safety reasons, should have connected his triple crossroads on Solo Sikoa. After all, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton are standing on guard in case anyone else tries to do anything, so might as well finish him now.
Steps up and a spear by Sikoa.
Okay, that was actually pretty cool to see Solo Sikoa hit his spear on Cody Rhodes, causing the stairs to go sailing around the ring. I guess I can take a sin off for that.
Uh-oh, Wolf is here!
Jacob.
Cody Rhodes was alert that Jacob Fatu arrived and quickly threw Solo Sikoa away from him, having enough time to move out of the way from Jacob's whisper in the wind. But he still didn't figure that's what was about to happen. Also, you had Solo in your arms after he took 2 crossroads in a row. Why not just stand Solo back up and let him take the hit from Jacob, thus saving yourself?
Puts Rhodes through the tape.
Jacob Fatu put Cody Rhodes through the announce table, which sadly caused his own leg to get injured. But the reason I'm taking 2 sins off is because, despite the injury, Jacob still had more stamina and strength to continue beating down his opponents, even in a frickin' walking boot, which once again shows he's the more qualified Samoan to challenge for the position of Tribal Chief.
Oh, wait.
Roman Reigns returning as a babyface for the first time since WrestleMania 40 gave a reaction louder than anything Vince McMahon ever tried to do with him as a face. Who would have thought actually giving everyone a reason to cheer for him would lead to everyone cheering for him? This moment where Roman Reigns' return was one of the greatest moments in SummerSlam history. Here are 30 cents taken from the counter. Let's fucking go.
Why is Roman Reigns here?
Why the fuck do you think Roman Reigns is here? It doesn't take a genius to figure out that Solo Sikoa is the target. Cody Rhodes is still a target for Roman Reigns, but that will come later after this important business is handled first. Have you solved the puzzle? Figured out the key? Balanced the scale? I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't. I have a keen eye for having you guess what's hidden in the shadows. But the time for guessing is over. There were 4 clues I shared to you. 4 pieces to the puzzle. A castle, a city, Atlantis, and the pyramids of Egypt. It's time to solve this hidden mystery. What am I sinning? Turns out I have played my cards right. And now, it's time to duel.